Hi, I'm Coco, and in this campaign, I'll be talking about the issue of racism faced by migrant workers in the United Arab Emirates. The UAE is a country located in the Middle East, known for its rapid economic growth, modern architecture, and diverse population. It has a population of around 9.4 million people with a unique demographic. Over 88% of its population are expatriates and migrant workers. The country's political system is a federation of 7 emirates, governed by monarchs, and it is known for its strong economy. For this campaign, I'll be focusing on South Asian and Southeast Asian migrant workers, especially those from countries like India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and the Philippines. These workers form a large part of the UAE's labor force, particularly in sectors like construction, domestic work, and services. Despite their vital contributions, they often face racial discrimination, unfair treatment, and limited rights. The campaign is titled, "We All Work Here." This name captures the message that migrant workers are not outsiders, they are an essential part of the economy and society. The title also highlights the injustice of excluding and discriminating against people who help build and sustain the very place they live and work in. This campaign is guided by 2 main goals. First, to raise awareness about social inequality and racial discrimination experienced by South Asian and Southeast Asian migrant workers in the UAE. Despite being the majority of the labor force, these workers are often subject to poor working conditions, racist attitudes, and exclusion from the mainstream Emirati society. Second, to help people understand that this issue is not unique to the UAE. Racism against migrant workers is a global problem. In many countries, migrants are blamed for stealing jobs, when in fact, they are exploited by corporations and systems that benefit from cheap labor. I want my audience to reflect on the structures behind this inequality, rather than scapegoating the workers. To support these goals, the campaign is built around 5 key messages. First, migrant workers are not your enemy, exploitation is. This message flips the narrative that pits locals against migrants and focuses attention on the real sources of inequality. Second, we all work here, but we are not treated equally. This emphasizes the hypocrisy in how migrant workers contribute to society but face racial and structural discrimination. Third, racism at work isn't just individual, it's systemic. It's not only about rude comments or slurs, but about legal structures, wages, mobility, and rights. Fourth, behind every building, every home, every street, there is a migrant worker's labor. This aims to humanize and recognize the invisible contributions migrant workers make daily. And lastly, solidarity crosses borders. This last message connects the UAE example to broader global struggles, showing how resistance to anti-migrant racism is a shared fight. The campaign will be primarily run on Instagram, using a visual-first approach that resonates with the general public. Instagram's design makes it ideal for sharing hard-hitting messages, infographics, and personal stories. The account will feature posts with powerful visuals and carousel posts to break down issues such as the kafala system, wage theft, and visa dependency. And secondly, frequent stories with quotes from workers, research highlights, and perhaps some satirical content to challenge racist assumptions subtly. Additionally, there will be a link in bio to a blog, which acts as an extended platform. The blog will provide deeper analysis, personal testimonies, and resources on how people can support migrant rights. For example, I will post entries comparing labor exploitation in the UAE to similar issues in countries like Singapore, Qatar, and even Australia, because, as one of my goals states, this is a global problem. While the campaign is primarily digital, I'm also open to participating in community workshops, especially those hosted by universities, migrant justice networks, or labor rights organizations. These in-person settings will help bring the digital message into real-world conversations. The campaign relies heavily on clear, emotionally impactful visuals. I've created 2 sample Instagram posts. The first one shows a bus full of South Asian construction workers captioned with, "Behind every building, every home, every street, there is a migrant worker's labor." This challenges the invisibility of migrant labor in daily life. The second one shows a cramped labor camp room with the line, "We all work here, but it's not the same." This highlights how different groups experience radically different working and living conditions despite contributing equally. These visuals are designed to stop the scroll, evoke emotion, and make people think and share. Here's a simple 4-phase plan for the campaign rollout. Phase 1, pre-launch. It includes finalizing the branding, logo, Instagram handle, and blog layout. And secondly, preparing 5 to 7 core Instagram posts and 2 blog articles. And finally, reaching out to student and community orgs to build support. The second phase is launch. It includes beginning daily posting on Instagram, sharing visual posts, reels, and key messages, and finally, encouraging followers to tag others and reshare with the hashtag, "We all work here." Phase 3 is engagement. It includes hosting an Instagram live question and answer about migrant worker rights, and sharing a Worker of the Week highlight to humanize the campaign, and finally, releasing a blog post linking UAE issues with another country. Finally, Phase 4 is reflection and reach out. It includes collecting feedback and analytics from Instagram engagement, and publishing a blog summary of impact and lessons learned, and finally, exploring collaboration with local workshops or student panels. Designing this campaign, "We All Work Here," has been both an eye-opening and emotionally heavy process. At first, I thought I was just going to be raising awareness, but the deeper I researched and created, the more I realized how invisibilized these workers are in everyday discourse. Even though South and Southeast Asian migrant workers literally built the UAE, they remain excluded, socially, legally, and culturally. One challenge I faced was balancing complexity with clarity. There's so much to unpack, from the kafala system to classism to global capitalism. But social media requires brevity. I had to think carefully how to communicate hard truths without overwhelming the viewer, especially in Instagram's visual format. That's where the strong short messages like "We all work here, but it's not the same" became essential. Another challenge was resisting the urge to portray migrant workers as only victims. It's important to show injustice, but it's just as important to respect their dignity and agency. I tried to reflect the balance in the visuals, showing harsh realities, yes, but also reminding viewers of the strength and endurance of these workers. This process also made me reflect on my own position. How often we benefit from systems built on exploitation, whether in the UAE, Australia, or elsewhere. Anti-racist work isn't just about calling out others. It's also about confronting how we are all embedded in these systems. Through this campaign, I've come to see how racism and labor exploitation are deeply connected. Racism isn't just about slurs or hate. It's about the structures that normalize inequality. And those structures are everywhere. Ultimately, what I've learned is anti-racist campaigns must go beyond empathy and aim for structural awareness. We have to shift the focus from bad individuals to the systemic conditions that create racial injustice. To sum up, "We All Work Here" is an anti-racist campaign designed to spotlight the often ignored racism and exploitation faced by South Asian and Southeast Asian migrant workers in the UAE. Through Instagram and blog storytelling, the campaign aims to raise awareness, challenge harmful narratives, and connect local injustices to global labor systems. What matters most is reminding people that migrant workers are not outsiders or burdens. They are core members of society. They deserve dignity, visibility, and rights. Racism against them isn't just a personal bias, it's a structural issue rooted in the systems of profit, nationality, and race. By shifting the focus away from blaming individuals and toward understanding these systems, this campaign hopes to inspire critical conversations and real solidarity. Because in the end, we all work here, but we all deserve better.